Hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Disco Kitty, the Crappy Crafter. Today we're going to be working with two Sophie and Toffee boxes. The first one, the Elves box. And the second one is the Pixie Box. So, let's just jump right into it. Let's get right inside and see what we've got. As always, the pretty dinosaur paper and bubble wrap with this one. How interesting. The pamphlet that shows what's inside has some instructions. They're not very good. Some thread, some bells, glitter, 2-part epoxy resin, 2 colors of Morandi pigment, beads, nail foils, a mold, another mold, another mold, all the molds, lots of glitter, film to put in the resin, more film, and now for the Pixie Box, pretty purple paper, the pamphlet shows everything that's inside, corks, ribbon, a cute little container, ink in black, 4 little molded jars, glitter, a TV mold, charms, clasps, more clasps, different style. These are for threads. The big mold, we're going to use this today. I'm super excited. I've always wanted that mold. Cute little tiny charm molds. Butterflies. Nail stickers. Shaker film. Molds for guitars and guitar picks in 2 different styles. 4 different styles, really. Super cute, though. And let's get right into it. We're gonna use UV resin for the first one and add a little black to it. I'm gonna use a tool to just put little dots of the black resin into the little beans. I'm not really sure what the beans are for. Some kind of randomness? I don't know. They're really cute though. I'm gonna cure them, flash cure them as we go. Just cure them a little bit so they don't drip. And when they're all done, we'll give them a good cure. Get some more resin. This time we're gonna make it pink. Oh, and the glitter. I forgot about the glitter. I add a little bit of pink though because I feel that it's just a little bit too transparent. A lot of this is going to be colored with the stuff that came in the box. Gently fill up the beans. Make sure they're filled to my liking. And then give them a good cure. And we'll pop them out and see what they look like. I think they came out pretty well. These will go inside one of the resin pieces. It's kind of like a shaker charm, but you put these all inside and it has a little chute where you can dump out one at a time and it gives you some randomness. Now for this, we're just going to add some of the brightly glittery glitter. This is going to make the cap that will be glued to the post that will hold this whole piece together. And remember, always cure both sides of your resin. If you're using UV resin, make sure you're using a clear mold and cure both sides. Next, we're going to go on to the spinner that will go on the back of this. And I really didn't like any of my options. 2 sets of chores, 1 set of random numbers and letters and like suits, like hearts and clubs and stuff. If I knew where my hole punch was, I would have just punched a hole out in the middle, but I really didn't feel like looking for it in the mess that is my office, so I just cut a hole out of the center. It doesn't have to be perfect. No one's really gonna see it anyways. Make sure it fits. It's lovely. I want the edges to be slightly colored, so I'm using that bright glitter that I used earlier on the cap that will go on the post that will go in between this. I did that very wrong. I should have just kind of, poured it into the little spaces, but no, I had to pour it over the whole thing and then scoop off what I didn't want. Silly, took forever. I'm gonna put down a clear layer, and then we'll put down the film, and we'll tap out any of the bubbles, because there will be bubbles, but they're pretty easy to get rid of. And then we'll put another layer on top, and we'll cure it real good. Remember, cure both sides. Always cure both sides. Hitting it with the torch does 2 things. It thins it out a little bit because it warms it up, and it gets rid of the bubbles. Now this did warp a little bit, but it's still hot when it comes out of the mold, so I just put it underneath something heavy, and it's nice and flat when it's all nice and cool. Now we'll work on the back section of the actual, I guess you could call it a shaker charm, of the dispenser charm. And there is one little tiny post, I guess you could call it. There's one little tiny divot in this that you definitely, yeah, right there. You definitely want to get all the bubbles out of that, because that is there to help the beans from just falling out all at once. Give it a good cure. See what it looks like. I really like that glitter. That is so pretty. And now it's time for the post. And like I said, this will help hold all of the layers together. There will be 3 layers all total with this. Pop that right in and see if it works, and then pop it in storage to make sure it doesn't go away. And then we'll work on the hard part. Now this has many layers. I'm gonna put little black spots in all of the beans that are on the front just to show you what it is. I assume that's why they're there. They look just like the beans inside. Now I haven't cured this yet because I'm going to take a little bit of pink and I'm going to go all the way around on what looks like little whipped cream dollops all the way around, and then I will cure it. Next up, we're going to work on some of the swirls. We'll make those bright pink. It's almost like a mint candy swirl underneath the beans. Going to fill up the beans themselves with some yellow. I'm going to take some gold pigment powder that came in a previous box, and I'm going to coat the big swirl in that so that it's nice and shiny. Use the other end of it, dip it in alcohol to wipe off any of the stuff that I don't want on there. And then we'll use some white pigment powder on the cloud. It kind of works, but It was a trial. I wanted to see if it would. It kind of works. Dump a whole bunch of purple in, fill it right up to the top, and then blast it with some light. And then it will be all done. That came out super cute. I really like how that came out. Now it's time to glue them all together. I wasn't sure what to use, so I just used some, super glue. I had to actually do it a couple of times because it didn't stick down right the first time, and that's alright. It works in the end. The glue didn't cure as quickly as I was hoping, so I had to leave it for a little while before I could mess around with it. I decided to hide the chute with that little puff of whatever is coming off the side. Tail, cloud, smoke, not really sure, but it's cute. Here we'll put all the beans in, just to test it and try it out, and it works great. It really does. Plop. Yay! One little bow. I'll take all the pieces back out again and store them away. Don't want to lose them. That spins really nice. For something that doesn't actually have any bearings, it spins nice. Now it's time to make the big mold. I am using the last of my Let's resin here. And because they don't tell you what the volume is, and this is the big reason why I have canceled my subscription, even when they do tell you the volume, it's still not right. Anyways, mix your resin for at least 3 minutes, preferably 5. Don't forget to scrape all the edges and the bottom continuously to make sure you don't get any streaky resin. It has to be absolutely mixed. I'm going to do a dirty pour with this, which is probably a bad idea because I put in too much ink, but that's okay. It comes out pretty in the end, despite all the issues I'm going to have. First issue, of course, is that I didn't make enough resin, so it's a little more than 3/4 full. Make sure to get rid of all of the bubbles in the bottom by squeezing the corners and the edges. We're going to put in some butterflies, even if you can't see them in the end. You know that they're there, and you know that they're cute. And that's good enough, I guess. I put in 4 butterflies all total, 1 on each side, as it were. So I'm going to use up the Sophie and Toffee resin that came in the Elves box. And it's going to have some special issues. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the other one, and mixing the 2 resins in the mold didn't seem to have a problem. The problem that I had was they cured at different temperatures, which I'm really surprised didn't just shatter the whole thing. The Sophie and Toffee resin got so hot, so fast, Like, I came back an hour later and it was hot to the touch. But the bottom of the mold, where the Let's Resin was not hot. We'll put the rest of the Sophie and Toffee resin in my backup waste resin molds. And then we'll let it sit. Come back in 24, 28 hours. I think it's 28 hours. And I'm back. And it's time to get these all unmolded. Cute little egg. Some cute feathers. The leaf. The 3 shaker charms. Someday I'll have a video of me just filling these shaker charms for you. A crystal mold, which was a pain in the butt to get out. It literally took me like 10 minutes to get that thing out. I hate it. I'm probably not going to use it again. Not anytime soon anyway. Maybe I'll soap it up before I use it next time. And now comes the fail. So you can already see that I'm fighting with it because the resin got so hot it melted and or just melded with the mold. So I get really mad and I just rip the hell out of it. Oh, so mad. I was so mad. And I understand that this is a cheap Chinese mold, you know, Sophie and Toffee is just cheap Chinese shit. But you know what? This was just so frustrating. I never actually get all of it out. There's still a significant portion of it stuck to the bottom of the inside of the jar. And that makes me very unhappy because I really, really wanted this to be a useful jar. I wanted to put things in it. I don't know what, but I was going to find things. But you can see that line there. You can see that line where the 2 resins mixed and merged. And I was, like I said, quite honestly, I was surprised that they worked together as well as they did. They were both a 1-to-1 resin. They were both supposed to have a 12-hour cure rate, so they should have been similar enough. And they were. I have one spot on the edge of the jar that is sticky because there's too much paint there. You can see it, bright pink. But that's okay. That's not the resin's fault. Overall, I really like the jar. I really like everything that we made, but that mold. Oh well. It is what it is. We'll just get right into it. Okay, so pretty. I put too much colorant in it so you can't see the butterflies, and that's alright. The butterflies are there. You can't see them, but they're there. Whatever. It's a pretty little jar. I really love this jar. I love this jar. I'm gonna have to get another mold because I really liked this jar. And check it out. Look where the mold is. Oh, the mold is still inside the jar. Okay, so what happened? Here's what happened. I used 2 different resins. And the Sophie and Toffee resin was the resin that I topped it up with. See, you can see this line right here. There's a slight line of bubbles, and you can see where it didn't really mix, which is good. So, this resin, I don't remember what it's called. I'll put it up on the screen. Didn't get very, very hot. The Sophie and Toffee resin, which I will not be getting again, got so hot that it melted the mold here and here, and it melted the mold right to the bottom. So that's not useful. I can't use this as a jar with the mold still stuck in it, and there's no way that I can get it out. I tried for like 5 minutes. So this is both a pass and a fail. This, however, this this is all good. This worked very, very well. A little spinner on the back and the little chute to pop out little beans. Not really sure what the beans are for. I'm assuming some kind of randomness, you know. Here's one that has a little heart on it. And then there are a bunch of others. One with 3 hearts, 4 stars. Clovers? I'm not entirely sure what those are. What do you think those are? No idea. But anyways, so this one worked really well. And I used UV resin with this one. So that was nice. That worked really, really well. And then, of course, all the little extras that I made because I knew I was going to make a lot of extra resin because, you know, why not? So, lots of extras, the little spinner, the little jar that I was really hopeful for and just completely failed. But, you know, I fail, so you don't have to. And like I said in my short last week, I have canceled all Sophie and Toffee subscriptions. I will not be getting any more from them. I don't care if this is just a generic mold that you can get on AliExpress or Amazon or Wish or whatever. I don't care. It doesn't take that much for somebody at the company to measure how big the mold is, measure how much it needs, and then just write that in the instructions. So we don't have to. But it's all good. It's all in the past. So, thank you for coming with me on this very trying adventure, and hopefully you won't see too many more of them, although like I said, I fail, so you don't have to. With that being said, have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Stay safe. Hi, what you do? What you do? Come here. Come here. Oh, yes. Oh, you're such a good boy. Yes. Yes, you are. You want to sniff? He's got the best purr. Oh, and he's been trimmed, so he's no longer owie.